NRCS correspondence course. Do you know we had a correspondence course in NRCS that taught ecology? I go, where was I? Oh my goodness, we forgot our roots. Okay, here's our first test. Jason, I took this. How many of you guys have read the book Omnivore's Dilemma by Joe Salatin? No, it's just the farmer is Joe Salatin. It talks about. Thank you. Correct me. Joe Salatin, when he speaks, he makes $5,000 a talk. When I speak, I get a bologna sandwich. And not even that. Barry makes me pay for it. So Joe and I got to speak. He's very well respected in the sustainability community. And I said, Joel, can you give me this slide? Please give me this slide. And he gave it to me. And he said to our farmers, we need to start focusing on nature's similarities instead of her dissimilarities. And this is his point. Jason, can you please tell me which of these two slides, one is Africa and one is the Shenandoah Valley and Virginia with 30-some inch precip. Can you tell me which is which? When I first looked at it, I go, oh my goodness. You got a 50-50 chance. Which one do you think? Which one do you, the right or left?
Top and bottom.
Top or bottom, which one do you want?
The bottom one is
Africa or Virginia? Okay, how many agree with Jason? This one is Africa and the other one is Virginia. Raise your hand. How many are just guessing? Me? Oh my goodness. See, we interpret things from our own context, and we've got to be careful when we do that. So what he's telling us, what is common in Virginia and Africa, Jane? What is common? They got grass. Do they got microbes? Do they got soil? Do they have diversity? Yes, yes, yes. What we're saying is, understand those similarities that nature has. What is soil health? The continued capacity for the soil to function as a vital living ecosystem. That's what soil health is. We want to make our soils function. They are not functioning in a majority of the world. They are not functioning. Now, this breaks the PowerPoint rules. I'm going to tell you, but I wanted to get every little nuance. There's Dr. Elaine Ingham, Oregon State. She's no longer working now. She works for the Rodale Institute. She said every chemical-based pesticide, fumigant, herbicide, and fertilizer tested harms or outright kills some of the part of the beneficial life that exists in the soil or on the leaf surface. And you know what they call the leaf surface? The phyllosphere. Even when applied at rates recommended by the manufacturers, less than half of the existing active ingredients used as pesticides have been tested for their effects on soil organisms. That's our reality. You ask that very pointed question, there's the answer. Ray Stiers, Dave Wren, Steve, and our beloved farmers here, and there's a lot of farmers. Look at Ray McCormick. Rodney should be here and his family. You know what I call these guys? I don't call them no-till. They're way beyond no-till. Because see, no-till's not the goal. I call them eco-farmers, like Ken said. They're ecology-based. They are learning how to emulate nature. Ray Stiers, that's his soil. He has not used fertilizer. He's dropped his herbicide uses from 5 to 1 herbicide. Dave Brand growing 230 bushel corn with less than 60 units of N. He's been using covers before they were even sexy for many people. And guess what? People looked at him like he's a freak for many years. Steve Groff, he farms in Pennsylvania. His farm is so steep, ladies and gentlemen, it's steeper than a cow's nose. It's steep. He's been using covers for a long time. Gabe Brown, he just recently just got a very prestigious award from the National Defense Council. He got Food Producer of the Year. How? He farms 5,000, almost 6,000 acres, 2,000 cropping. He has eliminated chemical nitrogen and chemical phosphorus in his operation. He does one herbicide application every 3 years, and he wants to get rid of completely herbicide. How does he do it? Continuous zero-till, mob grazing. His cows, he moves his cows like the buffalo. Oh, didn't we just hear that about biomimicry? He runs chickens right behind his cows. And he's following the herd. So he's completely and living diverse covers. Ray McCormick, you see Ray McCormick? All of you guys know Ray McCormick. I took him to North Dakota. His face is perplexed. We all went to the Jerusalem of Soil Health, and we went to go learn from them. And Ray was baffled. And Ray came up with some stuff, even more to do in his operation. So what it is, it's about interconnectedness, ladies and gentlemen. Interconnectedness. It's about understanding all of it's connected. I never knew that the microbes were connected to the cow, to the human, to the grass. Oh, by the way, in recent science research, they're finding out in the clouds, there's fungus and bacteria that help seed the rain. That their DNA can trigger and help create these formulations of crystals. There's fungus and bacteria in the clouds. I did not know that the soil was aquatic, that these critters, they're part of the water cycle. What do I mean, Kimberly, that the microbes are part of the water cycle? What does that mean? They help the water. It's complete when it goes into the ground. It's complete. It is, if it runs off, it is not functioning. That's what we're going to learn today. It's interconnectedness. Oh yes. How many study quantum physics? Jane, have you studied quantum physics? Have you read any stuff on quantum physics? Oh, it's very cool stuff. You know what quantum physics guys say? It's all connected. Ecology's all connected. If you impact one thing, you impact this, and this. It's beautiful. Now, when I tell you we're going to farm in nature's image, you're planning, well, what? Am I going to grow pine trees? Is that what you're telling me? No. I'm telling you these ecosystem processes, the water cycle, the nutrient cycle, and by the way, the correct term is called biogeochemical nutrient cycle. In the new soils books, biogeochemical nutrient cycle. It's first biological, then it's geological, then it's chemical. We want that sucker functioning, and then the middle one is the biocommunity cycle, where all of us. And do you know why we put it in circles? Why is that, William? Why do I put it in the big circles? They're connected and they're cyclical. They're cyclical. Nature works in wholes and in patterns. Now, this is a picture of secondary succession. Now notice, what would happen if we went from annual weeds? What would happen if we stopped farming here, Randy? What would happen to us? What would happen to Indiana, this part of Indiana? If you stop farming, what would it go back to? What? You got it. That's secondary succession. Now notice, here's the farm. Here's the farms. Annual weeds. Then you stop in the prairies in the west, it goes back to the prairie. But notice, do you notice how I have those cycles very tiny? Do you know why? They're diminished. Oh yeah, I used to get some water cycling, but they're not functioning fully like this one. And the solar energy, they capture energy efficiently, the water cycle's working. And do you notice the first thing no-tillers notice when they go to no-till? The water starts going into the soil when they stop tilling. The water cycle's starting to work, and then you're going to get more nutrient cycling. Oh my goodness. You start connecting the dots. Now, the more we go down her direction, less disturbance. Let's look at this. This system, our farms are bacteria-driven systems. When you till, you kill the diversity in our systems. Then you only make it predominant for bacteria to survive. I call them the mafia. You only let the bad guys survive because that's all they can survive, because you go in and you disturb and you disturb with a hyphae, you kill diversity, and they cannot function as well as this system. And the first time you go to no-till, guess what happens? It starts becoming more fungal energy pathway dominant. Conventional systems are bacteria dominant pathways. Low diversity, nature is high diversity. High disturbance, low disturbance. You see the patterns we want, why soil health? Our soils want low disturbance, high diversity. That's what they want. The farm never, the soil is the integrator. You see that? We're going to watch and you'll see some of the cropland out there in the woodland. Just because there is no woodland on it doesn't mean that soil is not connected and it doesn't want to be treated the same. It does. This is what I see when I go all over the country. The soil is naked, hungry, thirsty, and running a fever. And it's not just North Dakota and Indiana, it's the whole country. The soil is not functioning. It doesn't have its covering. It's starving to death. When you have this moment and you get a rain event, water cycle is not functioning, most of the water runs off, temperatures go up to 130 degrees, soil is not functioning. You overgrade, you overtill, you diminished. Oh yes, I told our beloved friends at the EPA, our lakes and reservoirs are filled with nutrient management plans and conservation plans. But they're not crystal clear with understanding. Oh yeah, I said that. I don't know why I haven't been shipped to Canada yet. Maybe that's coming soon. Oh, by the way, that is my picture. I took that on the window seat of the airplane. I sit there, they're not doctored Photoshop. I purposely sit at the window aisle and I go, chika. I said, oh my gosh, 80 years of conservation, and here's where we're at. Oh, but where's your research, Ray? Oh my God, there's so much research. You can almost build a big shed like this. Put your tractor in it. Look at here, 6-year study done by Dr. Rakowski at A&T. It was recently published. Look at this, disc no cover. He's got the plots. This was published in the Journal of Soil Water Conservation. Look at the slopes. Disc, no till, no cover, disc cover. Look at just covers. Look at the difference just putting a cover whether you're in a conventional or a no-till. You can't see this, so they changed the font. Conventional, in the 6-year study, lost 119 tons. 89% of those 119 tons were lost in 3 rain events. Okay, now let's think about this. 6-year window, 3 rain events, you lost 119 tons. 89% of that tonnage was lost in 3 rain events. No-till lost 7.1 tons. Can you imagine if you have a cover? And people say, well, 5 tons is tolerable. No, it's not tolerable. T is not tolerable. C, cover. It's not regenerating our soils. Look at Texas last summer. They had suffered a drought for 18 months. Look at our beloved Lubbock. I was there. I've been there. Look at the beautiful buffer, the diaper practice right around my lake as I fly in from North Carolina. It's wooded, it's got shrubs, it's beautiful. Beautiful diaper. Why does it still look like that? Because the soil, it could be for some wind, but those clay particulates can go for miles. They're tiny. The soil, we've paved it, we tilled it, so the water runs off very quickly. You got more string bank erosion. The soil water cycle is not functioning globally. Now, here's a test. Okay, NRCS employees, how many have not heard me speak before? Raise your hand. You're so fortunate. Okay, ma'am. So you're both conservationists, right? How many of you are conservationists here, NRCS? Have not heard me speak? Okay, good, you guys. You're it. We're walking to this farm, and you're ready to work with a landowner. What is the resource problem right off the top of the bat? This is in Indiana, not Indiana, this is Michigan. What do you see? Look, I want you guys to feel comfortable. Look, I got it wrong. I'm from the West. We think everything tilled looks normal. What is the problem there? What is the resource problem? Oh, good, good, good. Say it louder. We want to work with confidence, young man. Lots of tillage. You know what 90% of the people focus on? The diaper. Oh, the diaper's too small. You messed up the stream corridor. No. The battle's right here. You tilled the soil, you destroyed aggregate stability. It rains, you got sheet flow to channel flow, and you think that little diaper's gonna hold it back? Oh, please. When you say, I told the EPA, we do not have a runoff problem in this country. I'll say it again, we do not have a runoff problem. We have an infiltration problem. We have a soil function problem. Runoff is a symptom of poor soil function. Because the moment you say, we have a runoff problem, you're going to be standing at the end of the diaper. Game's over. You lost. It's right where that drop falls. It's where we got to control. If you lose that precious water, you created your own drought. That's where the battle is. We need to cover the land, biomimicry again. Look at the electron microscope image from the Nature and Properties of Soil, 13th edition. Look at here, the left side. Lots of pores for the no-till. Look at the conventional, collapsed pores. That raindrop comes, you got the crust, water runs off. Look at here, our forest. Biomimicry, the way we farm. Nature's way of farming, 4.3% organic matter, 17-year soybean. That image came from Dr. Saul from Brazil. Look at that. You can't even tell that's the same soil. Trying to see if you can get that brighter. Look at the conventional. She messed you up. Okay, let's leave it that way. Look at this. The moon. It's a moonscape. There's no life. That soil's uncovered all the time. Except when he's got vegetables. Okay. This was done by Dr. Kathy Siebel from NRCS. Notice they did some land-dependent soil properties research. They took some soil samples, they did some research on the forest, and here's the same soil, Cape of Cologne. Look at the bulk density in the forest, 1.01. The conventional till, 1.40. Eileen, is that huge? Where's Eileen? She escaped. Okay, she took off. Is that huge? What is bulk density, by the way?
Mass per unit volume.
Beautiful. But you know what? I keep it simple. The measurement of the pore space. I don't care about the particles. From an agronomist perspective, I could care less. From a soil ecologist, I don't care about the particle. I care about pores. That's my porosphere. And guess what? Is that a big difference? Okay, well, I'll read it to you. It's too far. 1.01. This is 1.4. Look at the infiltration rates, guys. The forest had 50 inches per hour. This soil right here, the farm, 1/2 inch per hour. Does bulk density make a big difference? You better believe it. Look at the aggregate strength, soil strength. That's why no-tillers can get on the soil sooner. The forest is 4.5. This one is 3.5. Look at the soil nitrates. The farm here is leaking 17 kilograms per hectare. The forest is losing 2.1. Jane, why? What is going on? What is nature teaching us that we can do so we can do nutrient management properly? What do you think, Jane? I'm asking this, why is there so much nitrate available that makes it leaking, and this one's only got 2.1 kilograms per hectare? Where is the nitrogen? It's in the biology. Good for you. See, our engineers gets it. Yay, engineers! It's in the cytoplasm of the organism or in the root. That's why the covers are so critical to stop the leaks. Nature does not leak too much nutrients. They're precious. They don't leak. Not as much. In our agro-ecosystems, they leak. They're leaky. That's why we're having water quality problems. Dr. Rakowski, retired ARS professor. Look what happens the moment you till. This is not days. This is hours. 1 hour, 2 hours. No-till, the ripper, the mower plow. Look at the no-till, flat line. That's what we want. The ripper, boom, in minutes. Boom, mower plow. This event happens in minutes, not hours. Those microbes start going crazy. Look how much carbon is being lost in those systems. And to me, the worst one is the disc. But I'm only touching the upper inch. That's where my microbes are, the upper 2 or 3 inches. And the vertical till is just a glorified disc. To me, this is what it's about not losing carbon and mineralizing. Now, recent research by Dr. Drinkwater, Dr. Swift, great soil ecologist, Dr. Drinkwater's from Cornell. She's saying we need to get away from inorganic-based soluble state nutrient management. Right now, our nutrient management is based on inorganic base. It's all about the solute. It's all about the soil solution. And you know what the whole problem with that is? It looks at the soil very myopically, one-dimensional. The soil is multi-dimensional. We look at our soils like when I walked out of school, I said, okay, the water solution, remember mass flow, interception, all that stuff we learned. Rain goes in there, the water goes into the soil solution, it interfaces with the mineralogy, that interfaces with the roots, and then I put my chemical fertilizer. Oh, it just looks like a beautiful mechanistic chemistry step. She's not that way. She's more complex. She's more beautiful than that. In fact, Dr. Drinkwater's research shows 40 to 60% of N and P is lost. Quote, Casman, 2002, in this type of system. Our no-till, our nutrient management was based on tilled systems, not no-till systems. The research for the last 50 or 75 years are tilled systems. No-till and conventional are not the same system. Total different animal. She says we've decoupled the carbon, nitrogen, and phosphorus cycle. She's exactly right. Great soil ecologist, Dr. Swift, same thing. Now, look at this. This is where we need to go to nutrient management. This is what Barry in Indiana and us soil health people have been promoting. Oops, back. Is this. The soil is this, ladies and gentlemen. They cycle nutrients. They make phosphorus available. They make nitrogen available. They are rulers of their world. They're part of the nutrient cycling. She says that we should make them organic mineral pool based. Our nutrient cycling should be microbially plant mediated. In other words, it is driven by the plant. It's those living covers. That's why when Barry and Ronnie have started using these covers all over, all of a sudden, phosphorus becomes more available. Because we're looking at the soil from a multi-dimensional, not one dimension. This is why we got to go ecology-based nutrient management. Because she's ecologically driven. She's living. It's this. Look how beautiful every one of them is. They're on the whole process. They all are part of nutrient cycling. You take them out, you affect nutrient cycling. I'm sorry, that's just the way life is. Now, here's another book that you should read. It's called Farming in Nature's Image by the Land Institute. They are ecology-based. Great researchers there. One of the pages of the book, one page, 144, a phenomenal story. They went into the tropical forests, they clear-cut the forests, and they planted soybean and corn. And what do you think happened, Teresa, after 2 or 3 years? Beautiful. She says they depleted the nutrients, organic matter went down. So the great scientists came back and said, hey, let's do this. For every perennial comes up, we'll put a banana tree plant, we'll put this, we'll put a coffee tree, we'll create this beautiful tapestry of diversity. An annual comes up, we'll replace it with something that we do intercropping, polycropping. We've heard of that, right, William? Guess what happened to the organic matter and the nutrients? They went back up. So what are we trying to do with soil health? We're trying to mimic the architecture of nature. This is the whole West, the upper plains and the West where I grew up. Wheat fallow. What a disaster. 5 minutes? What a disaster. It's destroyed our whole ecosystem there. Used to be buffalo and the long prairie grasses. And then they came up with wheat fallow to save water, which was a disaster. Now, continuous wheat, is that any better? No. Is that sustainable? No, because you're still requiring inputs from outside. Now, look at the carbon in the soil. We're building carbon. Is that looking better? Yeah. This is where we need to be. Look at the architecture here, ladies and gentlemen. Look at the architecture. How does this look like? Doesn't this look very similar to the prairie? Chad, how does that look similar to the prairie? Oh my goodness, you guys are awesome. They've all got different root depth, they've got different lagoons, they've got different everything. You're mimicking this natural ecosystem. You're mimicking the architecture, and guess what's happening? We're getting phenomenal results. We want to stop the leaks. This is typical agriculture. Leak, leak. We're saying let's put diverse covers to cover the leaks. Are we going to stop people growing corn and soybean? Nope. Okay, so how do we determine how to get the soil healthy? It's right here, folks. The most powerful tool. Let's back it up. I want you to see it again. I want you to memorize it. And we rarely use it. In fact, Rodney and I went to a large group of no-tillers, National No-Till, and I asked the farmers, how many of you dig in the soil? Farmers? And check your soil daily and check and see if it's functioning? How many of you think raised their hand? Less than 1,000%. Do you know who actually checks their soil more frequently? Organic farmers. When I went and spoke in front of a large organic group, 50% of the room raised their hand. How do I know this? I go all over the country and do this. But I told them they're not sustainable. Oh my gosh, I thought that maybe I did something horrible. I say, you till too much. You kill too much. I said, you bring in carbon, you till too much. You need to start doing more no-till. Our goal is organic no-till, if we can. Will we'll ever reach there? Probably not. But that's the goal. Okay, Barry's only giving me 5 minutes. We'll talk about these. People want to say, well, Ray, where's your research? Well, I got plenty of research. You want to go into the soil ecology literature? Let's go. Dr. Baird, Dr. Coleman, Rosley, Hendrick, the father of ecology, Dr. Odom. They came up with this, biogeochemical cycling. And you know what we call those? Spheres. There's areas of influence. We're saying the soil is multidimensional. It's got the drillosphere, the earthworms have an impact on the soil, the detritus, the agratus, the porous, rhizosphere. Every one of those spheres influence nutrient cycling. You take one out, you impact the other. Sorry, they're all linked. And we'll talk about that later, because I'm running out of time. And I'm going to push this here. How much time do I have, Barry? 2 minutes? Or you're not going to give me more time? I can see it in his mind.
You had 3 minutes.
Okay.
5 minutes ago.
Oh, he's beautiful, isn't he? Okay, well, if that be the case, see how you are. Now, I want to show you, first things landowners say to me, but Ray, I got all this residue. I got residue and I don't know what to do with it. So you know what they do? They burn it and they till it. They kill all the food for our nice soil organisms. I said, if you have a residue problem, you have a soil biology problem. You don't have a residue problem. Let me show you what I'm saying. And then we'll wrap it up. We'll get my little... Now this is a cool video, Jane. Watch this. This is from Dr. Odette Maynard from Quebec. They got a special equipment at night, and look what they did. Look at those earthworms. Oh my goodness, look at that. You have a residue problem? Andrew, just think about it. You're going out there at night with your four-wheeler, you fall, you're gone. You and the dog, the earthworm's tucking you away. Where's Andrew? He's gone. Don't tell me you need, for every earthworm, you've got to have 4 times the biology to feed them. You got an earthworm problem. You got a residue problem. You got a problem with biology. Look at that. We have farmers, once they get their soils healthy, they cannot keep residue on the ground. I bet you, Anthony's still there having tears in her eyes. I can see it right now. She just loves earthworms. She's the earthworm goddess. She loves that.
Hey, Ray, I'm
Yes.
not sure. I think I'm hearing the background music. Is that Papa Bell's?
Yes.
You hear that in a lot of weddings?
Yes, it's emotional.
Is that because earthworms are doing more than just eating it?
Absolutely. They're doing all kinds of things.
You are going to shut it off before we show that.
Yeah, well, you know, very. Now, what happens if you have an earthworm like that? You would never go out to the field. No, don't make me go out there. Okay, we're going to wrap it up. And there's a lot of things we didn't cover, but that's okay. I can cover them up later on, and we'll catch up. Mary, turn the lights on. We got you for 2 more days. We're going to torture you. Thank you. Let's see.
Give Ray a hand.